Right, hello there.
Hi there.
My name is Jarek,
My name's Simon.
as it says on the bottom here. Welcome to our Ask Me Anything, today dedicated to StarCraft. So where are we going to start today, Shimon? What's the plan? What's the plan?
Obviously we're going to be answering some questions. We've got a couple things to show you as well. We got some sprues. We got maybe even like a bit of the narrative campaign.
Maybe some sneaky peeks as well. I do have something to show you, some little bit of sneaky peeks. Cool. Where are we going to start today? Questions, mainly questions. There's lots of them, and then we have a little bit of camera action. We'll see what we can do with the camera action. Let me just turn off the comment here. Right? Was it? Yeah, that's the one. Okay, let's jump in quickly. So we're gonna start with the questions which we collected from Discord, and then towards the end of the, or maybe through halfway through the presentations, we want to jump in here again to show, to check the questions from the dashboard. A little bit of disclaimer, Shimon, if you could do a pleasure.
As always, yes.
I will be back in a sec.
Anyways, let's get to the disclaimer. So, everything shown and discussed during this AMA is subject to change. All content, including but not limited to miniatures, game rules, artwork, release schedules, and product plans is considered preliminary and may be updated or revised at any time. Final designs and details are pending licensor approval. Visual representations may include prototypes, concept art, or work-in-progress materials that do not reflect the final product, and any timelines or features mentioned are estimates and not guaranteed. All trademarks, logos, intellectual property belong to their respective owners and are used with permission where applicable. Participation in this AMA does not grant rights to any content shared or discussed.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyways, with that out of the way, let's move on.
This is kind of what we have to do all the time. So, kind of, our internal procedure in the company to actually tell you that stuff. But, we got that one out of the way.
Can you show the win rate for every faction?
At the moment, Protoss is winning. There's some comments about Protoss. Protoss needs a little bit of nerfing, and team is sitting on that one.
Protoss OP regardless of what game it is.
Yeah, I know. It's a right clicker. I hate it. It's absolutely right clicker. I hate it.
You guys got smashed by my Protoss recently, Couldn't stand up to it.
Yeah. Well, we played some digital one. But at the moment, we're very happy where Zerg sits and Terran, but Protoss needs a little bit of nerfing. People play more, and then through that process of playing, they basically. Can you see something? Could be. And so the Protoss is actually a little bit better than any other faction. So we're going to look into this one. Let's do next one.
When talking about the Defiler, are we talking the old school Roshi-like Defiler or like the StarCraft 2 one?
I don't know, you tell me. So that's one of the first sneaky peeks. It's gonna disappear now, so it's as a sneaky peek is. In terms of design, we're really leaning towards StarCraft 1.
What are the projected plans for tournaments? Will there be a channel or some group for tournament organizers? So to my knowledge, that's already planned in the app.
It is, and also written. The team already wrote the stuff, the tournament kit, so it's gonna happen soon. Obviously, we start shipping next week, which means that it's gonna be right time to start getting stuff for you guys. So especially the tournament organizers, the tournament packs.
Mm-hmm. Will we be getting villains as playable heroes like Malash or Duran out of the special units? Why are Raiders the only ones that are not unique? So regarding playable villains, definitely in the future, you can expect Malash and Duran.
Especially, they're not villains. They may be misunderstood, but they're not villains.
I'm pretty sure Duran is a villain.
Cool.
He's as villainous as you can get, like the end of the universe type thing.
You just have to, understand his point of view. Maybe his point of view is slightly different than everybody else. After special units, why the Ren Raiders are only the ones are not unique? I don't know. We didn't feel it that we need to make Ren Raiders a unique unit. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. StarCraft, are there plans for other terrain set themes? My game store is looking for some space platform stuff.
Yeah. 1 second. So the platforms, Okay, I can spoil it a little bit today. I think it won't be no problem. This year is a year of Lost Temple. Why Lost Temple? Because of me, because this is what I decided. I really love Lost Temple map, by the way, so that was my thingy when I played StarCraft 1 and then StarCraft 2. So I just envisaged that one, it should be round about that, not when we start, doing things. But Marsara, I think, should be next year. And yeah, in terms of platform and internal fight, that's also on the agenda at some point. In terms of terrain, give me a sec, let me show you something. So because you're probably gonna see, there's one more question towards the presentation, but in general, that's your ramp, and that's what we plan to do for the ramp. It's a massive piece of terrain. You can assemble that way. You can combine 2 of them or 3 of them next to each other. So we make this edge flush to other ramps, so you can just basically place many of them next to it. So it's already in plastic injection, as you can tell. This one is glued, maybe semi-glued. I think something was not there yet good, but in general that is coming. This is coming should be coming with the next wave and should be available, and each team around the map, around the other terrain you have in the set, and so on. Are we planning a little bit more of those things for this year? Yes, definitely yes. This is one of the biggest questions asked at the moment for the terrain. Where is more coming? So yes. So next year we'll have to do Marsara, and then we'll see the following year we're gonna do probably Ayur, something about Ayur. Mm-hmm. We do have a lot of things for Ayur anyway ready, so that's gonna be next one. Next one.
I would love to get more info if possible on the upcoming narrative campaign book. Yeah, we'll have that later today.
Actually, I can do it right now.
Oh, okay. Let's move to it right now.
Let me just give me 1 second. I think I need to close this. Move this away, move that away, open this one up. Okay, so I'm going to be showing something. However, this is completely raw materials, right? So this is just like PDF. Please bear in mind, as we mentioned, everything is subject to change. All the rules are subject to change. Just want to show you how big it is in terms of campaign. So this is what Sam Pearson did for us. In general, this is entire campaign narrative play, how you play, and basically all the rules for it. So some additional missions. I mean, the first portion is about the way how you play your table and the missions you play, kind of. And then I want to show you something which is.
They don't go too far because they're gonna go frame by frame now.
I know they're gonna go, so I want to go very quickly.
No, but they're going frame by frame probably. But
yeah, that's what they're gonna do. No, that's cool. That's cool. Let them do it. So that's the start map. That's the big one. Obviously, this is all mockups. By the way, this is all mockups, not approved materials. What's not. So everything is subject to change. I will just mention this one more time. Mm-hmm. But in general, this is what you're going to find. So we want to add those like a planet and sections, and you have all the planets. You collect minerals. You have nodes which connect the planet, and so on. So it's like if you ever played like Dawn of War video game, this is what we're planning to do, and it's extremely interesting the way how you play it, because you can play a several campaign. You're never gonna get bored. Basically, it's not like one-off campaign. It's basically a fully open system campaign when you just basically combine those things, and then we can release more planets, we can release more elements for that, and then you have pathways, you have dangerous pathways, and you pay action points to actually get moving from the planet to planet. Then you have a dashboard, and that's the other things which you have to design. We're currently working on that one. So you have a dashboard when you have all your research stuff, and then alert level. Alert level is basically the underdog mechanic. I wanted really underdog mechanic in that system, so we come up with some ideas, and then those ideas going to be implemented. So if you're going to lose first game, second game, in most of the campaigns when you lose 2 games, it's just not very climatic, because you just lost 2 games, so you might not get anything for the third game, because other people getting like snowball effect with winning campaigns. No, in this campaign it's different. So, and then obviously there's I don't want to spoil it, I don't want to go a little bit further because there's some things I don't want to show you and keep it for the future, but let's maybe leave it like that. Maybe one more page. Yeah, That'll be all for now. Yeah, I don't want to go any further. This is what is interesting about this campaign. You have the main campaign, which you play around it and conquer all those planets, and then there's the bigger level of further campaign, which basically allows you to kind of maybe not instant win, but gain a lot of victory points for doing side quests. And I don't want to go to the side quest because they're very, very interesting, and we have to keep it something for marketing for the future. I shouldn't show you this one yet. For the future. Hello, my face is here. Right. Yeah, this book is just quickly, maybe this one is, look at this is 106 pages long, so it's not like small book, it's really large book, so the team needs to have now time to get that one, make it nicely, and also fully play tested. That's what the team is doing at the moment. So yeah. Okay, let's move on to next question, which is
StarCraft. How will you be handling future waves? The same as the launch wave, meaning pre-orders and small discounts / bundles? If so, would you consider starting the pre-orders for the next wave shortly after this wave ships?
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, definitely, yes. We have to start next wave once we shipped everything from this wave, and this is kind of like huge pressure on us to get everything out of the door. We're going to be talking about this one just in a minute. I have slides prepared. As you know, many of you who join our AMA, usually we show you how the sausage is made, so we will show you some things. That's what is missing from other companies. So the companies don't show those things, but I hope it's going to be interesting for you as well. But yes, that's what we plan. Do we plan to do anything like we did, like a pre-orders? We might do pre-orders at MSRP. So we want to give a chance to stores now and distributor to actually carry and handle this one the way how other companies does. So that's that. I will leave it like that. And
why did you push the release date until June?
Did we? Yes, we did kind of entire release for June because we need to ship business to customers. So this means you guys need to receive the stock from us, and then we cannot have both things at the same time. Kind of my mistake that we I shouldn't say that, but let's move on. I'm not going to be talking about that side of the business. Does the shipping start on 25th still hold? Yes, it does hold. So the shipping is going to start on 25th. This means next week. We're going to start and ramping up. I want to show you this. Have a look how assembly works. So I hope you can see the video. You can see the video. So that's the machine which makes boxes, and that's all the boxes we have made. And this is our assembly line for packages. So this is the Protoss starter boxes being fully assembled. So each of the components, everything goes on the conveyor belt. All the pieces and elements being placed into boxes. Boxes go through this lovely machine, which weighs. I'll show you. Goes back on a conveyor belt. We have this machine. We check the weight and making sure that there's no missing pieces inside the boxes, which is great. Then shrink wrapping and onto the pallet, and this is basically how we assemble everything, all the boxes for you guys. And we can do every 5 seconds or every 4 seconds the box is actually coming out of the of that conveyor belt. Yeah. So that's how it looks assembly, and that was important to show you because we need to talk about, there was a question why we have to spend 2 months of shipping stuff. So the business side of it, let's say to be shipped is around about $20 million of StarCraft product out of
worth of stuff,
worth of stuff, right? So this is how much we have to ship it. And to be honest, our final stock warehouse capacity, so the one which we have here, we can hold at the same time up to the roof around about $4 million. So $4 million of stock we can actually hold it, like finished stock, which is going to be packed and shipped. So that means we have to rotate the warehouse about 5 times. Now we do have external warehouses when we keep stuff, which means then we have to bring from the external warehouse here, put on assembly line, assembled and ship it. So what I'm trying to tell you is we are not of the size of Games Workshop, and we cannot basically ship everything the same day on the next day. We just have to get the warehouse, clear the warehouse, build up the warehouse in the same time, clear it, and so on, so on, so on, and 5 times. And roughly what we estimated, it's about 8 days to actually clear, like full 8 days to clear the warehouse, including weekends, including the days. So that gives us around about 14 working days to actually get everything out of the factory. And that's realistically what we can do. It's just basically this project is massive, is a huge one, and so on. Obviously, we're not sitting on a law, so we're thinking what we can do on top of that. And I always put some countermeasures to speed up this one and make sure that we can do much faster than 40 days, working days, is basically adding night shift packing. So this is going to happen with a week two of shipping. So week 1 is next week for shipping, and week 2 is a following week for shipping. And then additional assembly line, week 3. We already ordered all the stuff. We already restructure our warehousing now to actually find. Maybe I got my numbers wrong. Did I? Maybe I don't know. Maybe something like that. So anyway, the assembly line week 3 it's the way. And then the fun fact is actually. Can you read that one out for me?
Yeah, fun fact. In other words, within 2 months, we need to ship as much stock as GW sold in 1 month back in 2020, while having 20 times less space.
Yeah.
Can we do it?
Hold my beer. Yes, we
do. You have a beer?
No, I got the I got the drink. I got the Coke Diet.
That's an idea for a future stream. You know?
Yeah, but yeah. But in general, this one can show you round about the scale of what we have to basically pack and ship, right? Make sense? Makes sense.
It's another video?
There's another video I want to show you. This is the warehouse.
One of our warehouses.
Yes, one of the warehouse. This is the main shipping warehouse when we assemble and ship products. So we have a warehouse, additional warehouse is additional 1,000 square meters, just about 400 meters away from here. And we have about 1,000 something pallets around the warehouses here, around the area we're located in. So I want to show you, this is all StarCraft. This is all, and there's some stuff maybe which is not, but majority of the stuff is basically Terran starter boxes or StarCraft or subcomponents for StarCraft or what's not. And the basically warehouse is packed to the roof. That's our drop-off area when we drop off materials and stuff, the goods that coming in, or what's the raw materials. And this is all boxes and alley of boxes and so on, and racking of boxes. So again, just showing you how big the project is and how little space we have because of the scale of the project. But we're getting there. I think we're getting there. Like for the company of our size, it's good. I mean, the thing will change definitely next year, just because we build an extension to this warehouse. So this warehouse is going to expand for double the size, basically by the I think by the end of this year. So it's going to be double the size. Yeah, definitely it's gonna need that. We're gonna need that one for the future projects, which we don't talk today about it because today is StarCraft, not any other crafts. But in general, that's what it is. And then obviously finished goods stocks, and that machine over there, you have seen it. This is the box making machine, but here is like fully assembled and ready to go to you guys boxes. So yeah. Yep, that's the finished one. So I want to show you because people asking, lots of people don't understand how big operation it is. It's for our company, it's a massive operation, by the way. So yeah, and we have to make sure that everything is basically on top.
StarCraft, similar to Ghosts, with Zeratul being added. When might we expect to see Dark Templar?
Well, yes, yes. Dark Templar, it's the next year. We didn't have on that on our list for this year, but it's gonna be next year.
And any update on the Canadian distributor?
Yes, we do have a Canadian distributor. It's gonna handling all this shipping to you guys. But on top of that, we also signed a separate deal for getting a what's the name, for sales and distribution, and that is going to be Asmodee Canada. Asmodee Canada is going to be also additionally on top of other ones holding our stock. I'm very sorry, I forgot what's the name for distributor in Canada. I've totally forgot. There's other big one as well. Apologies for that. It just I'm only consuming numbers, not names, so that's the problem.
And is Blizzard planning on providing marketing support post-launch? The Battle.net launcher is feeling really empty without a TMG ad. There is actually a miniature game ad on the. If you go to StarCraft 2, it should be in the news section for StarCraft 2, like a link to our page.
Yeah, we have a great marketing team here, which actually find great connection with Blizzard marketing team. I'm pretty sure the new stuff which we're gonna be, getting out, it's gonna be also hopefully advertised through Battle.net as well.
Yeah, people are already saying that you can already play with Dark Templar because you just put the base down and they're invisible. So
that's also a good idea, but they need the rules for that. So
they can make up their own.
Let's make minis first, and then I know it helps. Yeah.
Will you support only shops with organized play when it comes, or will it be possible to get support for gaming clubs without shops behind them?
Okay, so first of all, we support we started the demo program for stores, and this is something they really needed, and they asked the question, and obviously with this market is extremely competitive, so we have to understand that we have to do some things like priorities and so on, especially with releases of other products at the same time, and so on. We want to make sure that hype is there, and it's going to be very good for you guys and very good for the future of the game. We want to have lots of people to actually joining the game, and we can see the hype is still growing for StarCraft. But once we finish with stores, we will go to the individual clubs. Now the only one condition for us, the club needs to be registered as a club. We cannot basically work with somebody who just name itself a club, but there is not like a registered entity.
One person out of garage, like we can't just ship.
Yeah, it needs to be a registered entity and so on.
StarCraft updates on our physical rulebook.
Yeah. So physical rulebook has got a approval literally today with changes. We have made little changes to the rulebook. And in general, I just want to show you this as well. So in general, there's a tiny things we have to clean in the rulebook itself, and it's going to happen over weekend, after weekend, and after weekend is going to be the time when we're going to be, releasing it. So it's just really matter of few more days. We just needed to clear some things, and some trademark line needed to be fixed, and so on. So it happens basically, but that's the legal side of it. I just want to quickly show you the art of work. This is so the rulebook starts with basically a battle report. So we want to take you through the journey, how the game actually plays. So you haven't seen that one. I think you see that one for the first time. So in the rulebook, you'll find that. That's basically how you play a game, how the miniatures works and everything else, and not how you play. This is basically the battle report, which takes you through, give you some explanation how...
Yeah, this is just meant to be like the introductory scenario, just to show like the core fundamentals of the game.
Yeah, and then we move on to core concepts, which means the core rules for the game. There's still some, I think we have to just do some fillers still and then you have lots of examples of the gameplay, of the rules itself. So the rules are done, everything is done, everything is basically just now waiting for those small touch-ups and fixes we have to do. And oops. Some sneaky peek. Some things which we have to basically clean here and there, and it's going to be available next week. Now, it's also going to print at the same time. What does it mean going to the print? It's going to print next week Tuesday, which means first parcels we're going to be sending out are the ones which they either need the book, or we're going to be sending again book later on once the book is ready. Firebart doing his things with the flamers. I don't know how far I can go without spoiling stuff, and just want to leave it for you guys, but I think some of the arts needs to be still done there. I've seen it something which needs to be added in. Cool, but you will find the points as well here. So
I think you just scrolled through the entire document. So
no, it's a 56 pages. Yeah, almost like So that's that.
So rulebook release guide. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not, which I want to show you. I mean, it's legal now, it's approved, so it's no problem to actually show you this. Let's move on back there. Yeah, so just few more days.
Roughly speaking, with Nova coming out this year, when might we expect to see ghosts and or specters in the game? Probably along with the Dark Templar next year. Would be my guess.
There's my Nova somewhere was the year. Yeah.
Out of all the units that shows on the roadmap to be released so far, which one are yours favorite?
Yeah, what's yours?
My favorite hero. I mean, if he ever comes, it would be Tychus. But from the ones released or revealed so far, probably Stukov, I would say. I'm not 100% sure, honestly.
Yeah. Okay.
Which one?
From the ones we did.
From the ones we announced.
It's a Kerrigan. For me, it will be always Kerrigan as the one which was released. For the future ones, it's not on the list yet. It will be. I don't want to spoil it.
Right now, Zerg have a bit more options than the other factions, from the alternate roach to the link profiles. Is there any chance Terran at least can catch up with old profiles for units such as the Mercs from Wings of Liberty, or are they different enough to need their own models?
We plan to do more. A new release. So, okay, every single new hero release, you're going to find some additional special units, right? So, once let me show you something. My marketing team is going to kill me. That's the new Zeratul. You're going to find that model in the new.
That's the non-promo
miniature.
Yeah, so you'll be able to just find them normally in stores.
Yeah, normally we should wait for proper marketing, and my marketing is not going to be happy. I'm not going to be showing you more stuff. I mean, I'll show you this and explain it a bit. That's the normal one. So once we release this model, with that model you'll find some additional units or card units for your units you have, basically. So you can basically use something different. And that's the kind of plan for this. That is kind of planned for this game. And it was from the very beginning. So the idea was, if I get my Zealots, for instance, if I assemble my Zealots, would I be able to do something else with it? Or it's going to stay Zealot as it is for the entirety of its life? No, it's not. Because we can do different variants for different sub-factions and release new rules and so on and so on. So, for instance, you may expect in the future releases new adepts, which the team already and beta testers actually play testing at the moment as we speak. And then that's going to be in the next wave of releases. So yeah, the idea is there, and we will catch up. What I say by that is the Zerg's got more options, because in the game itself there was designed more options for it, like, you know, at the get-go, and the other factions will follow up. So
yeah, so essentially, you know, with time we'll be releasing more profiles, and you can expect that in the future.
It's kind of difficult to explain what exactly we want to achieve till we achieve it. It sounds silly, but from design point of view of the game, we know the limitation of this game in terms of how much we can do in every single year releases wise, like in plastic, but in terms of changing the meta of the game itself, or giving you more options, or try it out something else, is unlimited. It's completely unlimited. So we can create one unit, and from that unit we can have different derivatives of the units, and then give you just additional rules, and all of a sudden you put them on a table, and they feel and play differently than normal Zealots, right? So like we did with the Zerg. So we want to do that more frequently for more units, but will give us time to catch up, and they will be available, and those things will be available with the new heroes releases. Okay.
And is the StarCraft beta program still open to new members?
Yes and no. I mean, you can try to poke our team at the official Discord channel. The beta test started. We have completely new app designed just for that one, which we released last week, I think. But the beta test has been already play testing the new units and, you know, Siege Tank, Immortal, all those things, which are going to be next wave for releases. So
I will say, I think the actual entry into the beta is pretty much closed. Like there's no way to get in at the moment. We're just playtesting like internally.
That's true. I mean, I'm not saying no at the moment. If you're going to convince my team that you have let's say a great team, like you have a group of people who play and good at playtesting, we're fully open for those things. But we cannot open for everybody. We just have to make sure that we playtest it first. You will have your chance to actually view the rules before you buy anything from us, or before you buy any models, and because we have an idea about how we're going to be doing it, and the idea is we're going to be creating a blog post explaining the idea for design, idea for how you play, how it plays, and so on. But that's a different story basically. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can you explain the corpse's value and why they are so expensive in comparison to vials and other roaches? Would it be possible to maybe remove the tag once per game for the summon? Or maybe the biomass cost? It's just incredibly expensive in comparison to the other roaches.
Yeah.
Very difficult to argue the point worth difference.
It's basically designing question. So I can answer this one quickly. The problem with summon, we found it, is basically creates additional activation. So when we play tested like internally with beta testers, we allow them to have like unlimited number of summons, and that break the game. So effectively, we needed to fix the game by doing this. And for the point wise, let's give it a chance. Because one person will say, oh, they're cheap for what they do. Some other person, without playing with them, will say they're expensive. We want to wait for more feedback to come through before we're gonna be doing anything like changing point wise and so on. We did like last time, which is a couple of weeks ago. We changed the points for some of the cards and some of the units, because we felt from the feedback you provided to us that we still have to work on those points values for some of the units.
StarCraft, is there more information on the custom dice to come out around Wave 2, sizer dice / faction specific?
Not very good, not very good feedback. Not very good news, guys. So
yeah, we still need to work.
Let me show you them. Again, they are fully approved. We do have quality concern with them. Let me just change again for unboxing. I believe that's the camera, right? Yes. So we do have a quality concern. I don't have any quality concern with the Protoss dice. They're very good. Neither do with with the Zerg dice. They all fine and all good. We do have a quality concern with the Terran ones, and the paint is cheap enough. When you on a heavy use, very heavy use, the yellow paint is cheap enough, and because of that, we have to postpone any. I'm not gonna give you this. Come on, I wouldn't buy this. I would be unhappy with using my dice and all of a sudden losing the paint. So they're going back to when we made them, and they have to fix it. They have to fix the problem. So this is gonna be postponed. I'm sorry, guys. We have to do that, but I'm not gonna give you the dice, which you can see. I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but oh yeah, that's the good example. See what's happening? The paint just chip off. So no. And it is what it is. We have to postpone this release of dice for next wave, I believe. Cool.
Will you be continuing the clear plastic spruce features on future model kits, or is this a one-time option for the initial model release?
Yeah. Will you be continuing with
this question about the...
Oh yeah. Let me show you. Yes, definitely we're going to be doing that. Show you. So this is Siege Tank template. I mean, this is the template you're gonna get with the Siege Tank itself. So basically, it is 3D template. It looks like this. So you can glue those things. So it's quite nice. So we're going to be doing those things for all the units. This is still a little bit too much dye in there, because it just look like they're not basically, well, they're not cleared enough. We're fixing this one with going with a little bit less of the color dye in order to have a much more transparent, but that's what we're going to find. That's one of the examples where you're going to find more clear elements. And same for anything else like, what's the name? For other releases, right? So yeah, that's what we're gonna find here. It's one of the sprues for the Immortal, so you can see additional elements like a shields for Immortal itself. I'm not going to be showing more than this, but we have the shooting effects, and you have all the additional components you can assemble with your Immortal. But yes, we're gonna be carrying on, and we're still gonna be doing those things for the future releases. Okay, so we're not stopping. Just going back quickly to the dice, itself. The guys mentioned that the horrible quality. To be honest with you, they look much better in hand than on this camera. That's what I'm going to say first. And the horrible thing in that dice is only the one paint which is shipping off, but the rest of the stuff is just basically the color dice with those things. Yeah.
Will Archon eventually use any of the StarCraft lore outside the video games for inspiration? So right now we're just mainly focusing on stuff that we have references for in the game, because it's just the easiest stuff to make. But eventually, once we do run out of stuff from the games, we will be looking more like the books and comics and whatnot. I'm definitely interested in exploring some of the Guild Wars related stuff, KMC, emotions, more of that kind of stuff. But that's that's in the future.
Somebody mentioned Baron of Dice and Archon Studio collab. It's gonna be very difficult to actually have a collab of them, and I will just leave it like that at this stage.
The current roadmap covers upcoming unit releases. Do you all have any upcoming terrain kit releases in the pipeline?
Yeah, that was the one I showed you at the beginning of the stream, which we're planning to do, and there's gonna be more coming up. Terrain seems to be quite important. Now, you guys might know that we've been doing pre-painted sprues for last 2 years now. It's gonna be 2 years now. Our competition, they're trying to do exactly the same. They try to release some pre-painted terrain. So that makes me thinking maybe we should just go and see what we can do in terms of pre-painted terrain in the future for StarCraft as well.
Our competition?
Oh, I don't know whether. Who? I mean, Games Workshop, right?
Who? No, I'm just kidding.
We love you guys. We love you guys. And thank you for watching us, because we know you guys watching us. So, and on a stream, and
you should have shown them your T-shirt.
Oh yeah, my T-shirt. I mean, come on, I'm not. That's my T-shirt. It's a Necron.
See how much of a fanboy he is.
Yeah. I'm not the fanboy. I mean.
It's okay, so am I.
We're not haters, that's the big one.
Yeah.
I'm never going to hate anyone for doing such amazing stuff for the hobby. Why would you? But it's interesting to see that the big companies watching smaller companies, and they copy them. Well, kind of, yeah.
StarCraft, will there be different versions of the same character? For example, Terran Ghost Kerrigan and Primal Zerg Kerrigan. Yeah, that's already been pretty much confirmed, that we will be releasing different era units. So for example, you will see a Ghost Kerrigan. Maybe you'll see maybe in the future a StarCraft 1 Hydra disc, as opposed to the StarCraft 2 one we have now.
Yeah.
As well, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the beauty. That's what we mentioned about that one hero could be several versions of it. I mean, miniature-wise, sometimes yes, but in most of the cases, we would try to do one miniature which got different options and different things for it.
Mm-hmm. Will the game brand pre-orders be handled exactly like the website pre-orders in terms of delivery dates?
Oh, exactly the same.
Yeah, they're all just shoved into one document and sent out from there.
Yeah.
Will you guys be at Gamescom again? If yes, do you think you'll be able to sell the Wave 2 packs there?
I don't think so. We're going to be in the Gamescom this year. I will be there probably just for the business meetings. The only one reason why we're not, and we have to cut on the amount of trade shows we go to, because we just don't have team. It's just we do have lots of projects, and every single trade show we go to, and especially Gamescom, it takes away designing time. And last year when we did so many trade shows, we felt it that And the problem with trade shows is that we have to use people we have internally. I cannot, except the USA, but here in Europe, especially in Europe, we have to use the internal team we have. So that team is, shared between sales team, between, the designing team and so on. We have to take designers with us to show you the game, how you play. And then once we do that, it's about a week or so taken away from designing. So we have to be very, very cautious about which trade shows we go to. Now on Thursday, I'm flying on on Wednesday, I'm flying to UK for the UK Game Expo, and there's about 10 people from the company going there. And again, mixed match from marketing, design, and so on. So just to be on a trade show, but we just have to cut and then prioritize which the trade shows we really won't have to be. Next one.
Will future hero units have sub-faction limitations, or will every sub-faction exclusive unit share the same kit as a generic unit?
Will future heroes units have the sub-faction limitation? That's the one. Yeah, I know. This is what you would say, that we have to do this way.
Maybe in the second edition, I'll say that much.
Yes, okay. So if we do that from design point of view, again going back to that, that would limit the game a lot of what you can put on the table, right? So we decided that we're not gonna be doing this, not for this let's say this edition. Maybe in the future edition, once we have enough models to create like an entire locked sub-faction, then maybe yes. But at this stage, I don't think so. It's going to be feasible, not feasible, reasonable. That would be like, because we're going to be like closing many doors for you to enjoy the game with different variants. So we decided not to. They're not going to be, hide behind that wall.
Do you have, or will you have, a search feature so I can find local gaming stores that plan on stocking the line?
Yeah, we will do that. We will do that in the app itself. The app is going to do a little bit of overhaul, and I'm hoping to get that done within a couple of weeks. So week after we come back from UK Game Expo, it should be ready to have a new version with all the additional new features, because you're gonna start receiving the boxes, assemble models, and play the game. And I think we start, that's the moment when we need basically like meta. We need, the leaderboard and so on.
Will the web app from StarCraft, TMG.com, eventually become a mobile app for Android iOS?
I mean, it kind of is at the moment. You can just basically save it on your phone.
As for an actual mobile app, I mean, that's probably unlikely for the near future.
Yeah, it's at least six to 8 months to actually get through like iOS. But what you can do, I've got save on my phone. There's an option like you can download it on your desktop as well if you want, but other way around is basically on the phone you can just save it as a shortcut to the website, to the www, and then that's it, and works very well. But the plans are to actually make it proper, the a mobile app.
How will future game mechanics be ensured that playing? Sorry, I'm having a stroke. Playing a faction will replicate the StarCraft IP, i.e. the Zerg faction feels swarmy, Protoss feels empowering, Terran feels tactical. What issues have the team encountered during the game design where RTS mechanics didn't translate over easily?
Yeah, well, I think we captured it very well, especially that, based on the feedback, and one of the columns from the app feedback was the game feel very, very StarCraft-ish. From designing, we just have to follow the same pattern as we did, and a video game actually gives us good indication what we should do. So let's say when we design Immortal, we know what exactly Immortal needs to do and what the strength needs to be, because we just take it straight out of the video game itself. So the secret is just follow what is in the video game, and exactly the same. So it will still feel swarmy. We just have to encourage you to play more Zerglings, and the way we can do that is adding more heroes which focus on Zergling or making them a little bit stronger, and then effectively, you can play that way. But
I will say it also just depends on what sub-faction you pick. So, for example, I imagine Abathur would probably be more focused on elite units.
Yes.
As opposed to your regular core units of Zerglings. Whereas like if you play Mengsk, for example, well, you could be like spamming out like your Dominion troopers and then just die easily, and then you have your actual elite royal guards, which are actually way stronger than like the regular counterparts. So yeah, I'd say it's just going to mainly depend on the sub-faction you're playing, as opposed to like the general race.
Yeah. And the biggest challenges in design is always balancing the game. It's always balance, because like in any game, especially with tabletop miniatures games, which is like a turn-based game, and many mistakes which players will do, like tactical mistakes players will do, usually it's got the effect of, oh, the balance is not there in the game itself. So that was the big one for just to get the game going. Now it's a huge focus on our team to making sure that balance is there. So I mean, we did like our way that we balance the game is usually mathematical. So we use like all the ways to calculate it the way the points should be, and then once we're happy and then put the models on the table, usually it works very well. So and then but that was the biggest challenge for me, just to making sure that the game is fully balanced. Which is sometimes difficult, right? Like medics, we couldn't figure it out how to fix them.
Largely, to get an official statement, as I add TMG, thanks to the wiki, inevitably a game like the TMG will add even small new aspects to canon, i.e. Goliath missile types or Kerrigan's swarm having buffed raptors. As it's run by Blizzard, should the TMG's additions be taken as canon? I'd say no. Just out the gate, no. We don't have, obviously... I guess approval from the law team at Blizzard?
It's slightly different. So let me just explain you one thing. When you design a game, the mechanic for the game, it's not as much locked into the canon itself. I mean, the prime example could be even, Heroes of the Storm versus StarCraft itself. When you look at the design of the units, yes, the feel and the look is StarCraft, but everything around it is not StarCraft because it's needed, additional rules for this model to work on in that game, in that specific game. So I always keep saying the same. I mean, the good example for that is, imagine going back to Dawn of War video game where you have a walker which got like stomp attack, right? That stomp attack is nowhere in tabletop miniature game in Warhammer. So it was just added for the purpose of the game itself, but it's not canon. It never will become canon. So the same happening here. We have some rules which we have to create because we cannot copy one-to-one from video game. It's never gonna work, right?
I think another good example would be like as you mentioned, Here's the Storm. If I recall correctly, on Braxis, you have these marauders that come down the lane, and the marauders, they don't like shoot. They actually have a melee attack where they just hit the enemies. So in that sense, it'll be kind of like that, where it's I guess for Subsaurian it would be ambiguously canon, but not entirely.
Yeah, it's something which is created just for the purpose of this specific game itself, but it's not classified as a canon. It's just basically the game needed, like again, Heroes of the Storm and other games. So. Cool.
It's interesting that covering the game is either on or off, no benefit or partial cover, full partial cover, like benefiting from your evade save if you have a partial cover. Has this been playtested?
Yes, it's been playtested by about 1,000 people, or 2,000, actually 3,000 people. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole beauty of this game. So why we did it that way? It was kind of my requirement. I'm not interested in actually sitting down and having like argument on the table and having a long discussion whether this model is visible because I can see his fingers, whatever. It is what it is. It's streamlining the game and to have different slightly emotions when you play that tabletop game than other games. So we want to remove that stress effect, or which you will find in many other tabletop miniatures games. Is that any tactical disadvantage for this game? No, it's not, because the cover is not. It is essentially important, but it's not as much as important as in other games. So if you were designed the game, you have to make your like kind of switches and decided which of the core game mechanic is important and why we have to focus on those things and why we have to complicate this mechanic in the game in order to actually entire engine to work. So for us, that wasn't important. The more important actually is movement in our game and the way you locate it. So this is why the movement, although moving complexity is easy, like moving the models on the table, then the rule-wise we have to cover many things in the movement. But in terms of the cover itself, it's not important. It's not core. It is core per se, but it's not as much important like you will find in other games to actually have a complex rules of I see portion of your models, I see bits of your models, what's not. It just wants zeros and works for this game very well, because I haven't seen any comments coming back to us saying, oh, yeah, no, I would rather go for like partially cover or whatever. And we did this, and we tested this one, by the way. There was a version of the game which I sent over to playtesters long before we combine all the rules, and they hate it. So yeah.
With the release of I guess that's Wave 3, we'll get Nova as a hero. Will there be already exclusive units for her sub-faction with the release, or will those be added later on? Also, are there already plans for the Ghost units, generic or heroic? So to my knowledge, I do believe we are releasing the Spec Op factions together, the Spec Op faction together with Nova. I'm not sure if we're adding unique profiles yet, are we? Do you know anything about that?
I don't know. We need to check in the document, but I'm not going to be checking any documents because I will probably put on a screen. Everybody will take a screenshot and show on the universe. But that's the plan. The plan is to have something unique with every single hero. So maybe we're going to do something around Marines, maybe, or something like that. So we will see. But stay tuned on that.
Yeah. As for other Ghost units, definitely. I don't see why not. Obviously, we mentioned Ghosts, but they're probably coming next year. But there are a couple like unique ghosts we could do. Pretty sure there's like Stone from. Is it from the Nova Covert Ops campaign? I can't remember. But yeah, we can play around with that. StarCraft, can you give us Poland shipping day? Can we drive to EU with some pierogis and pick up our boxes?
Pierogi will do. You convinced me on the pierogis thingy. Yeah, it's starting next week with all the shipping at the same time. So it's not like we're going to be prioritizing any countries. Can you pick it up? Unfortunately not. It's just legal thing and tax thing. If we sell something, we have to ship it out of factory. And I need that for accounting purposes. So I know it sounds silly, but it is what it is. We have a friend which purchased from us stuff and from Piwa, and he asked me the same question. I told him, no, I have to ship it to you. So, okay, which is funny. What's the next one?
Yeah, what are the plans on having Brood War units in the future? Are you going to base them off their StarCraft 2 in-game models, or try to base them off their original in-game models from Brood War?
So for the Brood War, most of the cases we try to base models when we have references. So if the references materials are there for StarCraft 1, we're going to use the references materials, because this is it's coming down to approval process, right, within Blizzard. So we need to make sure that those things are easy to approve, and in order to be easy to approve, I need to have a backup materials for each of the models, and I have to show them that, okay, we use this material, that material to make this model, that model, and that speeds up the process of approval. So if we have materials, we're going to base everything around the materials that are available. So it's a hard question to answer straight away, but that's what it is. Oh, I have the same question again.
How would you personally, as players, run a 1v1v1 free-for-all match? What rule adjustments would you suggest, if any?
There's no need to do any rule adjustment. We just basically go around the table. We go around the table and that's it. So the first player initiative is the player who plays, and then second player, and then third player. And depending who's got the initiative now, it's go around the circle, around the clock, like in the board game. Like basically in a board game. So this, again, the StarCraft rules are slightly unique comparing to, especially the activation and the way you play. It's much more board game-like style of rules. You will find it, not like tabletop miniatures, like classical tabletop miniatures game. So, and that rules give us a little bit of flexibility the way you play it. So, like, going back to missions, how you play your missions, how you can create your own missions in the app, and that kind of system allows you to do so.
Yeah, I will say for like an actual 1v1 scenario that functions, you will probably need to design your own unique scenario. Probably like a King of the Hill style map where you have to hold a central objective and.
Actually, they are at the moment.
Oh,
there are people who created free for all mission, and you can find a free-for-all mission, and there is all the information written on a mission card. So it says how you activate and what you have to do. So again, the system is fully open. The game itself has got no limitation in terms of playing this way. So yeah, it will be much more difficult if we have like I go, you go, when I have to spend half an hour of my turn, and then you go half an hour of your turn, and the third player half an hour. I mean, 1 hour delay waiting. No, not good.
When will Stalkers become as useful as their tier 2 counterparts like Hydras and Goliaths? I'd like to see some balance changes, so Protoss will become more newbie friendly without the need to exhaust every single building just to reach the same efficiency as Terran and Zerg.
It's a great comment, thank you very much. But as I mentioned, from the playtest and feedback we're receiving so far, Protoss is very, very powerful at this stage, and it's going to be difficult to actually get them more tools if we see that we have to nerf it, some of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but again, like we will, Stalkers probably won't ever be like on the same level as maybe like Hydras or a Goliath, like unit-wise. Yeah. But we are releasing more units as time goes on, so you'll have units to substitute like that specific role for Protoss. Are there any updates about a StarCraft board game? Yeah, we're still working on it.
We played the other day.
Yeah, we did.
It was a blast. I like it.
Yeah.
There's some things about the board game which I really like it.
But don't worry, half of it has already been changed. So.
You already been changed?
Oh yeah, like I'm kind of surprised when I open the design document and it's like half the game has already been changed and I can't recognize it anymore.
Oh god!
And it's like this has happened a couple of times already. But it's all good changes. So
it's like with StarCraft, right? The version number 1 was so awful. I mean, if you compare version 1 to
at least everyone's on the
50,
same page this time.
No, version number 50. So it would be like we had a game. It was a blast. Who won that game? Wasn't that you at the end of the day, at the end of the game, you wanted to kill me. You want to kill the Kerrigan.
No.
You didn't.
I was
Oleg won the game.
Yeah,
he won by
by killing you.
No, he didn't kill me. He didn't kill me. No, he didn't.
Did he not?
No, he did not. I defended against the Archons, and then I moved the Kerrigan on other field, and then he won by actually eliminating your units and scoring victory points.
No. Oh yeah, he won the victory points. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I guess that's like I'm not sure how much we should say, but the main thing we want in this game is for there to be obviously we have very, very different factions. There's a lot of asymmetry, but we also want a really, really strong focus on alternate win conditions for every faction. So we do have those victory points in there, just as like a failsafe, but like the main way you're going to be ending games is through those special, really cool cinematic victory conditions. But anyways, I'm not going to get super deep into that.
What is amazing that every single hero's got different winning conditions and it's so asymmetric. It's absolutely the game which, you can play all the heroes, and then potential there to grow and potential for the expansions is huge. So maybe just leave it like that.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Will you be celebrating? Will you be releasing a Christmas Army Box special? If so, will each year have a sub-faction theme for each faction? For example, Zagara's Brood this year.
I think for Christmas what I planned is to have a 2-player starter box. So that's what we think. But stay tuned for. Okay, so the team is currently working on some ideas what we can do for the future, and my idea is kind of the level of Battle Force boxes. So you're probably familiar for those of you who play other tabletop games. Battle Box is basically a mix of several units. So imagine we can release like MMM. Marines and Medics box for your strategy, basically, because that's your portion of the army. It's gonna be fully MMMs, so medic and Marines and Medics, and then we can do like 3 sets of Marines there and 2 sets of Medics in one box, and that's gonna be just limited for one wave release. And then next wave release we can do the mechs, for instance. So we could have like 2 Goliath and 1 siege tank, or maybe 2 siege tank and 1 Goliath, or so on. So you might find this type of boxes in the future as well. Yeah.
Could you guys print plastic specialty figures that aren't for the game, but more collective reasons? Like how Conquest has the Artisan series with dynamically posed figures. I'm sure many of us would love SCVs, drones, pros, battle cruisers, and other figures that may otherwise not have a place in the game due to their size or role. And I understand the cost of production would be an issue. I would even be happy with anniversary models if it's not so frequent. But definitely plastic.
Kind of, yes. We plan those things.
We are planning on promo models, but again, our plastic capacity at this moment is it's kind of full right now, no?
It is, but it's gonna be slowed down because it's just at the moment with this massive release. I mean, actually, I'm talking depending on the new projects. There's a couple new IPs coming in a plural, IPs coming our way, the big ones. Which also gonna be tabletop miniatures games, which might cause a little bit of capacity issues, but we have some countermeasure plan in place for that. But if the capacity allows us to, especially sculpting and designing, we will do more like Zeratul miniatures, like those special releases miniatures. It's gonna.
Can you tell us more about the upcoming narrative campaign by Sam Pearson? That was shown off earlier in the stream.
Yes,
so
it was.
Feel free to roll back or rewatch the VOD.
We did mention as well about the organized play.
Mm-hmm. And when are you planning to release tournament rules? I can already tell you're leaning towards a single list mode, a dual list mode, or something more special.
As we shipping the game, the rules will be available online for free as a PDF document.
StarCraft, can you tell us how much level 3 terrain are we getting in the Lost Temple high terrain expansion? And can you tell us about the number of sprues and price? Will there be any level 1 terrain to complement the current Lost Temple terrain set?
We don't, not yet. Level 1 terrain is not yet available. Level 3 I just showed you. I think this one is about 7 sprues. And what's the price for it? I don't remember from top of my head. I think it's going to be something 39, but don't quote me on that one if the price will be different. But I think it's not going to be anything expensive than this. It's a massive piece. It's a lots of sprues. I needed one basically to actually, get your train slightly elevated, so on.
StarCraft, I got into the hype train and ordered some boxes, but a couple of friends got interested after the end of the pre-orders. What's the best way to order these starter boxes? And when can we expect to receive them? So probably right now, your best bet is either probably going to a trade show if we're going to be selling it there, but alternatively, probably ordering it through pre-orders, right? From other stores.
It's like you can go on other stores and do some pre-orders, like retail stores. I mean, that comment is just coming back all constantly through all the channels I can see. We have like distributors as well asking for more. We locked all the orders because we physically cannot make more, and then it will be dragging for God knows how long to actually make them and ship them to them. So we said like, okay, stop. We're not going to be providing more. This is what we basically locked, and we cannot actually make more. However, once we finish shipping, one player starter boxes will be back on in store to actually to buy them, purchase them. So that's going to be available probably within 2 months' time, and we're shipping from our factory, shipping from distributors as well. So. I mean, it's a board game, so we basically have to. It's not like one-off. It's not a board game style of thing. You just have to. Should we just check here? I think we own them. We owe them a little bit of love. So, oh my goodness, that's the big one.
Yeah, question about shipping. If my address changes, how can I update it later or for the orders? So reach out to us, contact@archon-studio.com. And we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And you're not going to be able to change it yourself, simply because we have to update our internal lists as well. And updating it on GameFound doesn't automatically change our internal lists, shipping lists. So that's why you have to reach out to us first.
Yeah. It's a question about the how the work with Blizzard is.
Yeah, we have answered this a couple of times actually already. But it's for Blizzard specifically, it's incredibly smooth. In fact, you mentioned this a couple of times as well, but it's like the smoothest we've ever, I guess, worked with when it comes to major companies. It's approvals usually very, very fast, response times very short. We were almost too scared. Like we were almost scared that it was going too well, you know. But
so
it's all good.
There is a question about the changing order on pre-order on GameFound itself.
As I mentioned again, you have to reach out to us because we have internal shipping lists.
Especially now. I think the email came out today about how we're going to be shipping, and your status will be changing. So and we basically lock and roll now. I'm guessing if you still want to do some changes, what we have to do, we have to cancel your pre-order, refund you, and then you can do. Can you do it more? No, I cannot do any orders anymore, right?
Not at this stage, no. Unfortunately, editing orders is it's not really possible at this stage.
Yeah. I mean, the questions about the tournament and terrain, those will be answered soon. You can see some questions about the rules. Okay, so that one.
Yeah, is the rulebook coming free to those who have ordered via independent retailers, or only those who have ordered via GameFound/direct sales?
So at this moment it's gonna be through because there is no room. The problem is that there is no room in the box itself. We don't have a physical space in that box to put anything else, like that rules itself. So they're gonna be packed in individual envelope and add to the boxes, to the large boxes we're gonna be shipping to you guys. So it's gonna be coming from us. So then the rules will be available for free, like full content of the rules will be available for free at the other website, so you can download it and
so just to clarify, the
Founders Edition box, only the 2-player starter founder box.
Only if you ordered it directly from us, not from retailers.
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
And then that book will be also printed, will be also available at some point in your store. I think we're just looking at $9.99 price, nothing like crazy, or maybe something smaller than this. Just to basically, we're in the business of making models and miniatures, not in the business of making books. So we're not going to be charging for books, God knows how much. Just check if do you see any questions here which we should really answer, or we haven't answered during the stream. Because usually what I found is a question which is here, and then I know we have an answer later down the presentation, so I usually skip them. Okay, cool. Let's go here.
After the 25th, how long can I expect to wait till my armies arrive? Also, when will the new wave come out? Or will it be deals? So, I mean, more or less, shipping starts 25th, but as we mentioned, it's probably going to be around 2 months from beginning to end, which is how long it takes for us to ship everything out from our warehouse. As for when exactly you're going to get your army, I mean, it could be anywhere in that period. Unfortunately, we don't have exact shipping dates for individual orders.
Yeah. Yeah. And in terms of pre-order deals for the future, I don't think we're gonna be doing that one. We need to make sure that the retailers are actually quite happy with the future releases. We have to count on them to carry the game for us now as well.
Will all previous wave items be available for purchase in later waves, like Zeratul for those that forgot to save their pre-order, or extra reinforcement packs?
Depending which version of Zeratul, so the Zeratul standard version, yes, with the next releases. Zeratul promo miniature is only going to be available at the trade shows or at our online store when we go to trade show. So that's the kind of one thing which we have saved for us. The rest of the stuff is going to be available, yes. Obviously, not the Founders Edition box. Founders Edition box is discontinued.
Are your price points for Siege Tank, Ravager, and Immortals finalized?
Price points? The prices. Yeah. Yes, they are. So, okay, I will say that out loud. Do tell me what you guys think. But it's going to be difficult to tell you the price because you don't see the scale of that, and you don't know what's inside, and you get a lot of tons of things. But in USD, so we're looking at 79.79 for Siege Tank, and for any other Immortal or Ravagers, and Ravagers you get 2 models in the box. and Immortal is the one big model like that is 69, and Ravager is also 69. So
but these are also MSRP prices.
yes, MSRP prices.
And
yes.
I imagine like stores are going to probably be offering discounts as well.
Oh yeah, they're going to be offering from 10 to 20% discount on that price as well. So it's the way how the way how you have to structure the prices it's also the way how retail requires them to be, kind of, because they just want to make sure that they have some discount leverage and everything else. Yeah, that was USD, United States dollars prices. What's the next one? Release date. So release date's gonna be available only once we shipped everything out. So it's a huge pressure on us to get everything, packed and shipped to you guys, because that will be the moment when we can actually carry on and doing the, good for the game. Mm-hmm. Are you planning to expanding the original Founders Edition pre-order to Game Found for each new releases, removing the Founders Edition boxes or replacing them with the faction bundles? How exactly you are planning to handle the pre-orders for Wave 2 and following? So you want to answer this?
Yeah, I mean, the Founders Edition just won't be available anymore. It's just going to be like the one-player starts boxes for now. And I mean, as for how exactly we're planning on handling pre-orders, it's just going to be available on our website, on our websites. We're not going to be going with Game Fund this time, and there's going to be no bundles as well. It's just going to be a more regular retail release. The initial release, we offered like a bunch of discounts and a bunch of bundles, just because it was like the launch, and we wanted to offer like as good of a deal as we could. But this time it's just going to be like a regular release. Yeah. Will shipping be impacted by higher global costs, and how is Archon planning to brace for these potential impacts / slowdowns? I know you're working hard, very excited for the game.
As always, by brute forcing. So when I say brute forcing, you're basically spending more money. That's what it is. So we basically we're gonna have to cover all the costs, and it's interesting time, especially for shipping, especially for tariffs, which we don't know. It's just so stupid idea, unbelievable. But those things we're covering, and those things we deal with.
Will there be a more formal process for dealing with rules questions and issues? The latest update says it's pretty much final, but there are still long-standing community questions about significant aspects of the rules. Yeah,
so we plan to do a small FAQ. The FAQ will be released with the rules releases. I mean, this is going back to something which is fundamentally the golden rule for designing anything and fixing anything is, if you have one question because there's some dispute about the rule, answer the specific question, but not broadly for entire rule. And this is where if we're going to make an FAQ, we're only going to be specifically tackling those individual cases instead of like global cases, unless we have to go after the global one. Because if we do for one specific case change the global rule, it might create more, like a snowball effect with the other rules in the game, which might crash the game itself. So that's that. And whether there are some points, I mean, my team is tracking and looking at the Discord and everything else. It doesn't seem much there. It's just basically some small things. Many things which we have been fixing. We fixed before this rulebook is going to be out. Especially, we just added like additional rules for the tokens itself, so they can be put on elevation now. So you can have them sitting on a high ground or mid ground, as we call them. So those things going to be addressing some of your questions. But that's all the questions from here. And the camera will be tricky because I already showed you lots of things during the thingy. I don't want to spoil it too much, but let's go through questions here. And if there's not going to be, lots of the questions, we're going to be finishing the stream.
Do you have plans to release 2v2 gameplay or free-for-alls with 4 or more players?
I mean, that's the thingy. In terms of 2 versus 2, you can play now. It's nothing stopping you. Are we going to be we're going to be releasing official rules? Yes. I think the tournament pack should include some, the mission cards or deployment cards, specifically the mission card. So the rules, the engine, the game engine allows you to do that. Allows you to do anything you really want. If you want to play 2 versus 2, we already mentioned this one in the book. Free for all also works the way how you want them to work. Basically, when I say that, it's just it's a simple rule, which means that we start with the player with initiative and then we go clockwise around the clock, and that's it, and nothing else needs to be added in there. So it's a common sense. So the engine itself and the core rules itself are designed the way how normally board games operate. So, and that's actually quite cool because it gives us a lot of flexibility of the way how you can play the game, and then we give you those tools in the app itself. You can design your own missions, your own cards, whatever you want, whatever you think it's going to be actually quite cool. And I've seen some very good ideas in there, really good ideas in there. So yeah, I mean, we lucky with this engine, very lucky with this engine, because the flexibility of it is like, it's like video game. And you know, StarCraft itself, and especially StarCraft 1 and even StarCraft 2, it's very hyped game and still very enjoyable only because you have those, I call them use map settings, because that's what we used to call them in StarCraft 1. Now, how do they call it now?
It's just custom games.
Custom games. So you can create many custom games because the engine allows you to do that. And here is exactly the same. We gave you engine, you play with this engine, and then when it comes to actually, you know, creating something additional, look what the communities actually did already. I think there's about 50 or 60 missions already, like on top of what we did in the app itself, which are actually quite cool.
What can we track when you release new promotional figures, so that we can make sure we can get one if we can't go to the show?
I mean, I'm pretty sure if you sign up for the StarCraft newsletter on our website, then you're going to be informed.
Mm-hmm. You can also follow our social media platforms, because we usually announce any promo miniature releases there as well. Is the Immortal big enough to replace my teddy bear that I sleep with at night?
Yeah, but it's a little bit spiky, so I mean, you can always remove those shutting effects, so yeah. Yeah, so the box of Ravagers include 2 of them and 2 different designs. You can run them as one unit of 2 or individually, so as a one model. By the way, you probably, I can spoil it now, you have seen the new rules in the game, which we call Morph. So yes, if you ask the question, can I have them later on the table without showing I have them, you can, if you have roaches, you can morph them from roaches. It was tricky to actually implement that, but I really want it, and I said to the team, just come up with some ideas how we're gonna do it, and team managed to create some rules to, you know, that's actually not complicated and works quite cool. Yeah, so that's a good question. You can read it out.
Sure. Can you give us a rough estimate on how many points, for example, Immortals / Siege tanks will cost, so we can already think about our lists? Okay,
so the target points wise, so again, it's a combination of things which, when it comes to design of the game, we want to make sure that we don't give you extremely expensive models on the table, and because once you lose it, it's almost game over. So we cannot have that happening in the game. It will be anticlimactic. But the target point wise for 2000 games, we're looking at around about 15% maximum, 15. That's with the upgrades you have for the models. Without upgrades, a little bit less. Around about 10%, so between 10% and 15% of 2000 points game. So up to that point value. And also that allows us then to get that miniatures models in a smaller format. If you want to play 1000 points games and have, I don't know, 250 worth, you know, model, then yeah, it might be a little bit problematic once you lose it, but still it will give you some good fun. But you know, default game is basically 2000 points, so we have to aim at that and fix that, because that's going to be tournament level of the gameplay. Yeah, around about there. Can you bring Ravagers without morphing? Yes, you can bring them without morphing. Morphing is not mandatory, so you can have them, you can deploy them on the table from your thingy, from your .
Yeah, we teased the Ravager in the email update today. Can you show it to us, as well as the totally not present siege tanks in Immortal?
So we have them in all plastic physical form. They're sitting over there. I don't want to show you them because marketing team is gonna kill me for spoiling something. We're just waiting for painted models. They have to come once we receive the painted models. We're gonna be showing them, and in the form that needs to be done, properly. So that's that. It is yellow. So we keep yellow. We keep colors for each of the faction. So even that is immortal in 2 different colors, it means that been done on the test machines, whatever. But the Protoss is yellow. It's gonna stay yellow, and so on, so on, so on.
Yeah, test miniatures, of course, are tend to be in different colors.
Yeah.
Just based on what's
whatever is on the machine, they just put the tooling on the machine and run it. So sometimes we get models in like 3 different colors, even. So just because the test models. Yes, it will be playable, and the rules will be available for free online. So you'll be able to download them in a print out format, which we did already for other card rules. So yes, be fully playable piece. Okay. There was some question about 1 second about cards or.
About cards/rules translations, you mentioned it would be in 2027. Do you still have a more approximate date, and will all languages be released at the same time, or will they be only released one by one?
It's not up to us. It's basically up to each of the individual distributors. If they're going to feel that this game required languages translation, we will do that. I mean, the case is it's a good example. It's like other tabletop miniatures games. Some of them wants to be have languages and release in different languages. Some of them the community doesn't want to. They want to play in English one, and the main reason is basically depending how big the tournament meta is. So if the tournament meta is large, the people will prefer playing in English version instead of their own languages, because there's misconception sometimes, mistranslation or translation is not clear enough to actually have that one. So yeah, it's going to be depending on that. Once distributors tell us what exactly they want to do it, we will basically adopt. So they know more about that than we, and we have to listen to them because they push the models to the market. Okay.
Is the upcoming board game somewhat in the style of the original FOG board game by any chance? I'd say it's actually quite different. It's the only similarity here is that it's an area control game, but like everything else about it is very, very different. I don't want to spoil too much. We have a lot of big plans for this. You can expect full-blown campaigns as well. At least that's in the plans right now. I don't want to confirm anything, but yeah, we have a lot planned. We have a regular game format and campaigns planned.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes though. We're still very far off of an actual proper.
Yeah. So this game has enough players to survive already, and now we need more numbers to thrive. I totally agree. I mean, I'm not worried about StarCraft. I would be worried if people are going to be complaining about the rules itself, that the game is dull, that it's not interesting. But my team is feeding me constantly with feedback we're receiving about the game itself, and we have some feedback coming from you guys, basically saying they played the game, they play many tabletop miniatures games, but this game is the most interesting at the moment. And we really put a lot of attention into making sure the rules are good. That needs to be actually good, enjoyable. I think we can come back to this discussion in 2 years' time or 3 years' time. I think we're going to be starting slightly, maybe, I hope so, a little bit small revolution in terms of the way how the rules are being constructed for tabletop miniatures games. Because I can feel it that the classical way of as used to be done and copycat of the big boys on the table is gone. And the Yeah, that's what I think. So we did hear many rules which you won't find in the tabletop miniatures games. There are many adaptations of the board game inside that. So yeah, so I'm not worried about the game itself. It's good. Like your investment, not because of its StarCraft, but pure investment for tabletop miniatures game is worth it. On top of that, we have that layer of this game is a StarCraft IP. So yeah. So I'm not worried about the future. I'm a little bit worried if you ask me about the size of the project, right? So if the project is going to double its size next year, I will struggle to release more stuff, more other games, and that's my problem. So we need to plan for that as well. It is difficult because nobody knows how the game will grow. It might double, it might triple, it might stay at the same constant level. Even if it stay on the constant level, we're talking about 20,000 players, 25,000. That's a big number, a huge number. But looking at what we're getting constantly coming through email, like I want to buy StarCraft, I wasn't aware there's a pre-orders, and customer service receiving every third email about, hey, give me StarCraft, I want to buy it. It's basically still very hyped game, and it's got expectations are huge on us, and we have to just deliver. Is it going to thrive? I mean, hopefully we're not going to drop the ball with the rules, and hopefully we're not going to drop the ball with the new units design. That's a little bit of my worry as well, because the team we got good team. The team can deliver. Needs to be managed. Needs to have father, and I'm doing the father stuff because they like a kid sometimes fighting with the ideas. So I need to be the one reasonable about, I like this, I don't like that, I like that, I don't like this. It's been working and proof that is working okay, but I need to find more time for this project from managing point of view, from being a project leader or being basically the rule designer basically. So yeah, and with my team, but the team is I think team will deliver. And yeah, especially the same team actually works on the board game itself, so they can
some of them
they can unleash some of them they can unleash their creativity, the board game creativity over there. But when it comes to tabletop miniatures games, we have to be still kind of
keeping in the same realm of tabletop miniatures games.
Yeah, keep an eye on that. Transforming the units like Viking and yes, and Archon and Templars. Cool. Some question about the heroes. What's that? Campaign says the cards market expansion, but it's not a play. This is
it's a different game.
Okay, different game. I mean, there's my team is going to be watching this one, so they're going to record this question and see what we can do. Okay, this.
Have you considered making buildings like barracks as physical structures that can be placed on the battlefield with perhaps additional rules that allow you to destroy them? Again, we've every single suggestion that you can possibly offer, we've already tested, at least in some iteration in the past.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes.
Yeah. I mean, we got a very nice comment here about they're also been playing, and then his body doesn't really interested in IP the game itself. That's the core stuff, guys, because I've been talking about this for many years. That the Archon beginnings were not the best in terms of the game designing, because we had no team. Like we were like. Back in 2014, 15, 16, 17, really, the team was such a small that everybody was wearing many hats. So one day you were designer, the other day you needed to do something else, and the third day you needed to be, a sculptor, and the fourth day you needed to do something else. So we had like people with many skills, but not with skills, proper skills to design something. And the eye opener was basically Heroes and Might and Magic. When we decided to, okay, so that game needs to be good and needs to be for the people who play Heroes of Might and Magic, not for the board gamer per se, but for people who actually love Heroes of Might and Magic. Because if we're going to make a board game, we're going to have to make so much with the proper like board game rules. We're going to have to sacrifice so much of DNA, of Heroes DNA, that people ain't going to forget that. That's for sure. They're gonna hate us for this. So here is the same story with this game. So we're making sure that that DNA is in there, and then we capture. I think we capture many of the StarCraft DNA, and especially like Fog of War. Because if you think what you see on the table when you start your game, you see nothing, right? So everything is actually outside the gaming mat. It's like a Fog of War, and enemy kind of doesn't know what you're going to bring and from where and how. So this is very interesting because it's just like replicating the last final combat, middle of the map combat between two players from the video game itself. So that was the core concept and idea for that, and works, and people like that one. So yeah. I'm getting in trouble many times because I talk too much, and sometimes my fuse goes off and I ramble about many things, but thank you for that. Thank you. It's a very nice comment. Right. Sorry, there's some more questions. The dashboard is, as always, a little bit laggy. So yeah, this question is coming back constantly. According to the annual roadmap, Wave 2 is almost here. The Wave 2 announcement is going to start once we finish shipping. Obviously, I did mention at the beginning of the stream how much stuff we have to ship from here, and so on. But once this one is finished and when it's over, we're gonna be doing Wave 2. So it is the deal with us. It put a lot of pressure on me, a lot of pressure on the team, on the packing team. I'm there on the manufacturing, like, CEO, as a CEO, I spent a lot of time on the shop floor, helping people out, moving pallets and stuff like that, just to make sure that everything is moving. But they see that pressure, and they see that feel that, even the management is actually doing the best and trying to help them to actually achieve the as fast as possible for the size of our company shipping. And then once this is over, we can just move on to Wave 2. So it's going to be delayed, obviously, for about 4 weeks. That's interesting. What about Polish translation? Yeah, I mean, we have distributor in Poland and War Factory, and he did like quite a lot of translation. I think he's doing now translation for Song on Ice and Fire, and I'm guessing he's gonna also want to do translation to Polish language. I know from Poland we speak Polish with someone, but the rules are written in English. Like, you don't write rules in Polish and then translate them to English. You just have to write them in English. Although we're not native, so many of those things sometimes are funny.
Oh, well, I am, but I don't write the rules.
Are you native? Oh, yeah, you are.
Oh.
Well, more.
No. Really?
Yes, you are. No, the siege tank is not transformable. Many things. Engineering challenge there.
Yeah, okay, so the miniature itself, it's not transformable. But gameplay-wise, you will have a token to put down to indicate that it's been transformed or not. Yeah,
so maybe not in full scale, but I want to show just a little bit. Obviously, this moves, but in general, the tank itself, you have to assemble either this version, and then there's a base. You have to glue it to the base. So it wouldn't be feasible to create anything which is transformable. And for, in the video game, you can see that tank actually doing stuff. Here, it would be almost impossible to do that, especially with those things moving, and then things moving. It's just like not when you have a base and you have a painted model and you have to use it for as a playable piece, right? So that's how it works. We love the ramblings. Thank you. When you are at the UK Game Expo, will you bring enough goodies to cover Saturday and Sunday? I guess yeah. I guess yes. I guess we should.
We'll
We'll try. We have very small number of things which are left for trade show. We have a deal with UK distribution that we're not going to be pushing more stuff because they obviously want also. They have also pre-orders taken and so on. So yeah. Cool. Okay. Can I expect pierogi and kluski na parze as a gift? Yeah, maybe we should send them candies. I mean, krówka is one of them, which is like we had this discussion today about adding something, but we're a bit worried that we have to check the regulations for that, especially food regulations. That's true. So a lot of, I mean, I learned this one actually so something interesting I learned during this process of development is you have 2 different or even 3 different models. You have a model which is in the video game itself. You have a model then which is in animation, which is completely different model. And then you have a model in semi-animation. So you have 3 level of basically models. So semi-animation is the one which you can see like a scene cuts in the video game itself, when you need to have a model with enough polygons and enough, skin, whatever, and then you need to have like in animation. So animation itself is like those video animation, high quality animations. They're completely different models. Sometimes you by big margin, because obviously the high level animation requires, like when you see something odd on it, it will be like, how he moves his hands, because his shoulder parts are so big, impossible to move his hands. So what they do, they shrink them, they cut them, they remove some elements, and then, it's completely different model, because you need to have this flexibility. When it comes to video game itself, it's tiny model, like doesn't have to have it. You can basically block out anything you want. So when we approached for the first time Blizzard, especially, I was working with one of the ex-Blizzard director for StarCraft, and he was just telling me that story that, what models you exactly want to put on a table. Would you want those animation ones or semi, or buy the concept art? What exactly we want to do here? So we kind of decided to go with the concept art kind of approach, because it's much more easier to translate the concept art into the, like a piece. So it's much more like kind of reasonable, I think. Yeah. It was interesting. That was interesting experience. Cool. I can be quite honest with you on that one. This is IP project. And we I don't mind if somebody's doing their own thing. Fine, if someone wants to do it. But if somebody is copying other IP, it's a theft, basically. That's what I see. I can ramble here about this whole day long, but I don't think it's fair. Like, there are companies which they pay a lot of money to design something, create something, pay a lot of money for the license, and then somebody else is just basically piggybacking on that one and try to just copycat like one-to-one and name it differently, like, design a Kerrigan model and then not call it Kerrigan. It's still Kerrigan. I mean, it's still visually Kerrigan, right? So changing the name doesn't change the fact it looks, and it is, and it is Kerrigan. So we never did that in this company. We did, like, in the past, like maybe some miniatures line once, where we just thought like, that would be a great idea, but no, we don't do that. And our expectations are, if we don't do that to other companies, why somebody else is doing to us? That's, I don't think this is like whatever. that's my take on 3D. If somebody wants to create their own IP, great. But equally, if somebody create their own IP in 3D, I'm not going to go and copy them and make them in plastic injection just because, it's different medium. It's not. It's the same medium, basically. It's the same effect. The same effect is the miniature on the table at the end of the day, right? So
honestly,
that's my take on it.
So this is my personal opinion. When it comes to like 3D printing, piracy, all that kind of stuff, I think more often than not, it represents more of like a service issue where we're not offering a service that's good enough for people who are seeking 3D. So in this case, it could be like the cost or ease of access, or we haven't offered like a really popular unit yet that people will want to see. I think with time, we should be. Obviously, once we like get into the flow of making all these StarCraft miniatures, we should be getting like better and better at like learning what people want, and that should hopefully convince more people to buy the official models if of course good, which they will be, of course.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that they won't be.
I mean, that's fair comment. That's very fair comment, but that's also one of the issues. Because you asked me for that, why we're not going to release like Firebat rules now, and that's the big problem.
Oh, that was just me complaining. I complain a lot.
Yeah, but that's one of the problems why companies like us, like Games Workshop, like other companies, are not releasing the rules before the kind of models are out, or kind of not providing those things, because all of a sudden you have like mushrooms in the room in the they grow like mushrooms in the woods after good rain of those kind of official but not official copycats, whatever models and things like that on the market. Right, so those things and it's stopping us from actually doing fun thing, because I would like to give you more rules and in the future release models for those rules, but I know what will happen. Somebody who wants to play like Firebat will go and make this Firebat and then even print for its friend and colleague, and that's it. There's no need for us to actually make this model anymore, so that's from our point of view. That's from my point of view. Privacy is a service issue. Piracy. Cool. Well, dragons will be Immortal X or SC1. I think here we have to focus on what we have from a concept point of view, and a concept point of view I've seen it is StarCraft 1. That's true. I agree on that comment here. So the question was if there is no models, and for years, and they were like having rules in the book. And I think this is what basically Games Workshop also learned that lesson. So they don't do that anymore. Usually you find 100% of availability on the market straight away when they release something, right? How big is a Ravager compared to Stalker? Same size, right? I would say.
Well, isn't the Ravager a bit bigger? Or
Ravager is
actually maybe they are about the same size.
Yeah. We will do the proper reveal, guys. We will do proper reveal. I don't want to do this like on hand release or something like whatever. It's not the best professional way to approach this one. I want to show you something. I want to make sure that you see something. Yeah. Are there any updates on Port Heaven just follow updates on there, but next AMA will be also dedicated and focus on those things. Yes, there's only one single Immortal in the box. It's made of, I think, 5 or 6 sprues, so it's actually quite complex and quite large model. This is very interesting. Yes, I like that idea.
Yeah, can we get a unit card maker tool in the app so we can make custom units like in the map editor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So is that planned or?
I will do.
Okay.
I will do. We're gonna give you those tools. I mean, we want to make sure that you guys have a fun. So, thank you. Okay, I think. Well, so the backend is not there yet. So for those of you who, if you create a new account, yes, if you create a new account, definitely you can create with your nickname, but the backend is not there finally yet, but you will be able to edit your nickname or even change your nickname. I need to be careful because some things I don't know how to do it, and things I don't know what, it's just making sure that there's no abusive language used for nicknames. So that's something I need to find on a Geek Hub, how to do it basically. So are you considered hybrid units from StarCraft 2? Perhaps in the campaign.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure we've already said this earlier, but we are planning on eventually releasing hybrid units in the future.
Are you worried about the pace of the units outstripping relevant tactical cards? I don't think so. I think we have some good idea how to approach that. And so just give you some idea how we could potentially approach this one is, so we do have cards like 5-pool, so we can work around this one with naming the card a strategy card, and that's it. Like for instance, I can spoil this one because it's going to be available very, very soon anyway with the new releases. But we have a Cocoon card, which is named Cocoon, like, you know, like the one with Jarek, which is not linked to any building. So we have an option to add more cards. It doesn't have to be linked strictly to the building. It might be strictly linked to the one strategy, also some of the type of elements. Right, so that will be one of the ways to approach, and we did that with barracks. We did proxy barracks, for instance, right? So you have a building which is called proxy and then barracks. So we can, and that's the again beauty with this engine. We can create different openings with different cards and use the terms from the video game itself of the strategy itself and put them into the game itself.
Yeah, so I'd say there's like an almost an unlimited amount of tactical cards we can do. Like for example, you know, you can just invent a card that's just called Entrench for like the Terran faction, which allows you to like I don't know, deploy like a widow mine, or like deploy like a specific unit in like a defensive position or whatever else.
I mean, you can call them forward position or whatever, or rush. We can have like a rush card. We did have like rush for Zerg, which wasn't part of the releases, but yeah, naming of the card is not a problem as long as we can find justification for the naming itself in the video game, in the IP itself. Then it's fine. Okay. We plan to ship everything at the same time. Yeah, it's gonna be shipping at the same time, everything. I mean, there's embargo in terms of when the retailers can sell it, because we have to embargo them till you guys gonna get the game, because that's the whole concept. So yeah, but it's not like somebody will have to wait like in the line, whatever. I think in terms of work with, you can read it out.
Yeah, any chance we work with community creators like Cardboard Animations in the future for unique or one-off minis? I'm not entirely sure what the process behind that is, because I'm not sure if the IP rights are still held by like Blizzard for specifically like Cardboard related designs. But we'd definitely love to, if we can, we'd love to like design some like promo models for like Cardboard versions of minis.
Yeah. So would you consider hobby starter boxes with minis and paints, Army Painter Vallejo, like boxes of branded Army Painters paints? That's something on our mind. We've been approached obviously by Army Painter and Vallejo about some collaboration, but at the moment we're just too overloaded with what we have to do for this game, and then we will come back to those things next year. Again, just wait for. We will show you. We just wait for the official. This model is actually the Ravager is painted, but we just have to wait for a good time to reveal it to you guys. So, no, it's not visible. I don't think it's visible.
Do you think we'll see flyers or Jim Rayner's transport? So we will have flyers eventually. It's already been like announced in a previous live stream, like the waves, the future releases. We do have some ships planned. Yeah. As for Jim Rayner's transport, maybe in the future.
Maybe. Okay. Yeah, scaling was it is kind of difficult to actually get some models out. So in general, for scale, we have to work around it. So when I say work around it, is basically get a model, look how the model looks on a table, and see what scale we can do for the miniature itself, right? So like we cannot have a battleship which is this size or that size, like to have it properly scaled. Even that size would be too small because the marine is this size. So how many marines goes in there? That should be city in a spaceship. So it's much bigger than that. So yeah, and making smaller models, much more smaller models is also not to the scale. Doesn't look good on the table. Yes, other companies did some things, but still those models look very good. Although we mean scale it like proportionally, but not when you have like massive planet size something which then you scale to the size of tank. It doesn't look good. Cool. I know. They're gonna be pissed off with me again. Yes. So some of the rules already in place are in the game itself designed specifically for Reapers, to have Reapers on the table at some point. Okay. I think we have to wrap it up because it's been like almost 2 hours. It meant to be just 1 hour again, but we just drag it for 2 hours. Yeah, it's
Who's
me.
we?
I mean, I still got power, so I still got energy. I mean, I'm running out of voice now. My voice is gone almost.
No, I'm just kidding. We love you guys. Well, I love you guys at least.
I love you as well, guys. I mean, I've been doing this one this is our, which one? 80 something stream. So it's been many months, like 160 months of doing that I've been doing this one for 3 years. Jesus Christ. Yeah, and thank you for joining us. I hope we answered majority of your questions. Shipping was yes, so it's coming, it's happening. So stay tuned. Don't be too much upset if you're not gonna be first one to receive, but somebody will have to be the middle person to receive and the last person to receive. That's how it works. It's totally random. So yeah, thank you again, and I will see you, I think, within a couple of weeks or maybe 3 weeks. We're back from UK, and then probably I will do normal Ask Me Anything. You can join us this normal AMA, which is going to be talking about all the projects and maybe some information for StarCraft as well. And then once we push everything out of the door, and then with the proper announcement of Wave 2 with pictures, sprues, models, and everything else, then we will do another StarCraft dedicated AMA. Thank you.